Hey, what's up, Castlers? Eladefo7 here again to bring you Tournament of Champions action. But before I do, don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. Now let's get to the game. This was game 2 of 2 between Rockdorne with white and checkmated 427 with black. In game 1, checkmating 427 defeated Rockdorne via resignation after 22 moves. Let's see how this one turned out. Rockdorne starts out with e4. And check 427 counters with the Pierce defense. Rock plays d4, taking control of the center. And checkmate in 427 plays g6, preparing to fianchetto his bishop on the g7 square. The play of g6 has now transposed the Pierce defense into the modern defense. You then have knight f3, bishop to g7, bishop c4, and to e6, knight to c3, knight to c6, and then a kingside castle from the animal, getting his king to a safer square out of the center of the board while also developing a rook. e7 continues with pawn to a6, pawn to a3, knight to f6, bishop g5 from Rock, pinning the knight to the queen. Pawn to h6, 427 asks Rock, what are you going to do? Are you going to take the knight, or just drop your bishop to h4? Rock moves the bishop out of the vicinity altogether with bishop to e3. You then get a kingside castle from 427, bishop to a2, on to b6, on to d5. E takes d5, e takes d5, Rock recaptures equal trade of pawns. 427 moves his knight to safety with knight to e7. Queen d2 from Rock attacks the h6 pawn twice while it's only defended once. But the simple move of knight to f5 solves that problem and protects the pawn while simultaneously attacking Rock's bishop on e3. Knight d4, knight takes e3, 427 snatches the bishop. F takes e3, Rock recaptures equal trade. Knight to h5, knight c6, Rock takes a nice outpost. Queen to g5, rook f3, bishop to d7. Rock doubles up the rooks with rook a to f1. Rook a to e8 on the h3 is a mistake from Rock because it allows 427 to slide his knight onto g3 to attack the rook on f1. Rook to e1, Rock moves his rook to safety. Bishop takes c3, 427 grabs the knight. B takes c3, Rock recaptures with this pawn. Knight e4 from 427 attacks the queen. And I personally hate having knights in my house, just too many squares to defend, and things tend to get a bit messy. I'm sure Rockdorne feels the same way. But let's see how he plays this. He plays queen to d3. Queen h4 threatens the rook on e1, and things are starting to get a bit dicey for the animal. Rook to d1. Knight g5 is a great move from 427, hitting the rook on f3. Rook f2 moves it out of harm's way. Then 427 eases his queen onto the g3 square, and he's looking to do some major evisceration with the knight poised to steal a pawn and check the king on h3. The g2 pawn can't take back because it's pinned by the queen on g3. King f1 is played by Rockdorne. Rook takes e3, wins checkmate, and 427 a pawn and attacks the queen. Excellent move. Knight e7 check from Rock, attacking 427's king. 427 moves it to safety. Knight takes g6 from Rock, swiping a pawn. F takes g6, 427 takes the knight. Rook takes f8, Rock swipes the rook, which allows 427 to bag and gag the queen with rook takes d3. Rock recaptures with rook takes d3, and 427 goes up in the exchange. 427 now with a 2-point material lead on Rockdorne. You then get queen to e5 from 427, pawn to h4, kicking the knight away. 427 ignores the knight and threatens the more valuable rook. Good move. Rock swiftly moves his rook to f2. Bishop f5, 427 attacks the rook on d3. Rook d1, d4 hits the rook on f2 and threatens to win a pawn. On c3 with his queen also attacking it. Rook f3, Rock thought he moved his rook to a safe square, but then e7 puts Rock in a metaphorical cobra clutch that Sergeant Slaughter would be envious of with the move bishop to g4, putting both rooks in the crosshairs of 427's maniacal bishop. And it was in this position, move 33 in fact, that Rockdorne waved the proverbial white flag and capitulated. Well, Rockdorne played well in this game, but 427 comes back from his poker sabbatical to sweep the animal and show Rockdorne who the real number one in this club really is. That's going to be it for me tonight. I'm Meladefo7 saying stay tuned, and I'll see you soon.